Welcome everyone to the Power in Your Voice podcast. I am your host, Linda, where we'll be talking about life experience and how it's meant to keep you moving. Often we get up and we mask our hurt and our pain. Yes, that's what I said, life experience. We all have them. So we're going to learn here to deal with our issues and achieve goals because every power has a story. Welcome back, podcast family, to the Power in Your Voice. It is always my pleasure to come and be with you and speak to you on your Saturday morning. Some of you may not get the opportunity to listen to it on Saturday morning, but whenever you listen to it, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to the Power in Your Voice podcast. All right, today, y'all, I have back with me Jalen. Jalen, come on, say hi to the family.
What up, everybody?
All right, that is Jalen. She is back. I have Ebony, my daughter. Ebony, say hello to the family.
Hello, everybody.
All right, that is Ebony. Y'all, we're going to be talking about your freedom, and we're going to try to demonstrate this to an escape room. When I think about my freedom, oh my God, that is another broad topic because people can get free, but it's something to stay free. Freedom is just like getting married. You can get married, but hey, it takes work to stay in it. So while we are on this topic, I am so happy to have Jalen back. She's been on vacation. But with that being said, Jalen, when we talk about an escape room, have you ever been to the escape room? What is it like?
So with the escape room, it's like a bunch of different puzzles and challenges that you have to work together with your team with to try to get out of that room and get into the next room until you make it out. But the catch is that sometimes you'll have to go back and revisit a room that you've already been in to get more information to get you out of the next room.
Wow, that's good. So sometimes when you're walking in freedom, you tell me before I can go forward, sometimes I might need to take a look back to say, this is what I need to recognize to get to the next place that I am going to. Ebony, what do you have to say about going from one place to another about freedom?
I like the example that Jalen was given with the escape room. I know my experience with the escape room was similar to hers, but you actually had to pay a lot of attention to details. There were things that all started looking alike. There are things that look like it doesn't even matter. It doesn't make sense. It's nonsense. But in reality, it was that puzzle piece that you needed to get to that next level. And if you, again, like Jalen said, if you didn't finish or complete that room before,
wow,
then you're not going to be able to make it to the next stage.
Wow, so you have to complete. Wow, that was almost hard for me to get out. You have to complete some steps in your life to really get to your freedom. Wow, that is amazing to me because we always like to walk out without completing things. What do you mean by completing things? I believe this right here. If I start to walk out and get into freedom, I must realize what has held me bound. And if I realize what has held me bound, freedom will always be in front of me. And I'll never have to be like, I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid to do that. Because when you become free, y'all, it's something to walk in it and to have that liberty because you're so used to bondage. And when you are used to something that's holding you bound, it's called familiar territory. Ebony, talk to me about that familiar territory a little bit.
That is so true. That's with anything in life, honestly. You try to go for a new job and you always adapt or revert back to what the old job did because you're going back to what's familiar. But what we got to do is push past what's familiar and embrace those things that are uncomfortable, which is the new thing. What is it going to take? Nobody likes to deal with the newness because it's unknown. We don't know what it's going to bring us. We don't know what it's going to do. But that's the new place that you have to be. You have to leave what's familiar to you to move to the next place.
Wow, that's good, Ebony, because I'm going to tell you, moving to something new and coming out of something that you're so familiar with, y'all, it's easy to go back like the children of Israel did. The reason why they wanted to go back because they now walking into new territory. And when you walk into new territory, y'all, it could be scary sometimes. Why? Because it doesn't look like, it doesn't feel like, it doesn't act like what I'm so used to. And so when you do that, Jalen, tell me, what are some things that I need to be careful of as I'm walking into my freedom?
So when you're walking into freedom, you have to really be careful that your mind is made up. Because if your mind isn't made up, it's easier to revert back to old ways than to move forward. So with that being said, what comes to mind is the Harry and Meghan and Oprah interview that is really popular right now.
Yes.
And Harry made a statement and he said, I was trapped but didn't know I was trapped until I got out.
Wow.
So with that being said, it was easy because he was familiar with living in the palace. It was easy for him to keep that lifestyle and be unhappy. But once he got out and realized what true freedom was, then he realized he's been trapped the whole time.
Wow, Jalen, you said something that was so profound. You said he didn't even realize that he was unhappy where he was. Mm-hmm. Why? Because you stay in a place for so long, let it become familiar territory until you say, you know what? I know it's got to be something better than this. So what you have to do is you also have to listen closely to the sound of freedom. What does freedom sound like? Freedom says the doors are open. It's almost like a prison mate. They've been in prison for 30 and 40 years, and now they are walking in freedom. Y'all, that means things have changed since they've been in bondage. Society changes when you be in bondage. People's look different. You know, when you go into that new place, y'all, it's a whole new sound. It's a whole new look. So we have to pay attention, closely attention to that sound. Ebony, would you like to add anything about paying attention and listening to that sound of freedom?
Honestly, all I would add to that is embracing it. It goes back to embracing it. Once you hear it and you see what it feels like, you have to embrace it because you don't want to go backwards. You don't want to revert. It's like a reset button, a default button. Once you become comfortable with the new thing, you don't want to fall or default back to the old. So that's all I would add to that.
That's good. You do not want to repeat those same old steps. Another thing, don't be afraid to try new things. Wow. There are so many options out there. Jalen, give me some options that you're getting ready to do a new thing. You're getting ready to graduate from college. Oh my God. Jalen is getting ready to step into the new world. Come on, give me some things that you think are optional when we get ready to go into the new world.
Ooh, the world is full of possibilities. So once I graduate from school, there's different routes that I could take that could all lead to great outcomes for my life. So I could choose, okay, do I want to stay in Idaho? Do I want to move? If I decide to move, where do I want to move? Do I want to transfer my job? Do I want to keep my job?
Wow.
There's so much different options to choose from. But the key to it all is adaptability. So whatever choice I make, I have to make sure that I'm willing to adapt to that decision.
That's good.
Because I can't go with that same mindset and be like, well, Idaho does it this way. But if I'm somewhere else, they're not going to do it like Idaho. They're going to do it like that place. So I have to adapt to the place that I'm in.
Wow, that is good. That means there are codes there. That means that I need to know how to crack those codes so I can stay flexible. That is another thing you want to be. You want to be flexible because you cannot keep referring to this here and that because you are in a new place. And whenever you go to a new place, you have to adapt. You have to know That is not the way they do it here. You know, I moved to Idaho years ago, y'all, and I'm going to tell you, I was in for a rude awakening of how things was done. So I had to learn new strategies. I had to keep my mind focused. I had to say, I will not get stuck. And so as I leave you today, do not get stuck. Keep moving forward in your freedom. Freedom is there. Come on. It's easy to set somebody else free, but it's hard for you to get free. I want us to be free. Thank you for tuning in again to the Power in Your Voice podcast. It is always my pleasure to be with you. Thank you, Ebony. Thank you, Jalen. What an amazing topic. Come on, let's stay in our freedom. I'll talk to you next week. Peace out. God bless. I would like to thank you for tuning in to my podcast today. Remember, if your situation is not challenged, it cannot change. If this conversation has been a blessing to you, hit me up on my social media. Take a second to share this podcast with your family, your friends, your neighbor, your associate. Everybody is welcome to the Power in Your Voice family. I will be talking with you next Saturday.